I finished taping up the wire. This piece of tape right here is exterior tape, and this is interior tape. My connections are underneath here. I added in the ground wire, brought it through the hole, and I plugged in my base knob and added a zip tie to hold that in place so it wouldn't get pulled or anything like that. This wire is going to run with these wires up into the car. It is a very long wire, so we'll be shortening it as we go, putting the bulk of it someplace other than in the dash. That means this is now ready to get into the car, finished up, which is to say I need to bring the power wire into this and attach my sub wire. So let's hop inside and get it in place. We're gonna take out the package tray underneath the seat. How many bolts we got?
We have 9.
What size?
10 millimeters.
Let's pull them out. And it should just lift right out. Hey, look what we found underneath the seat.
A screwdriver.
Somebody left us a screwdriver and something else. And we still have some of the factory carpet tape. Now the nice thing is these bolts do not go out into the bottom of the car. These are bracketed, except for, no? Yeah. What was that one attached to? It's like, yeah, that one didn't even matter. Either way, let's take a look at the Fox box that we're gonna get put in here. So here we have it. If we flip the camera up to that, we can see where it says Titan. This is gonna be for those 210s. It is ported back here. There we go. There's the ports. And we have a speaker cup located on this side and one on that side. Let's set it in the vehicle and see how she looks. Now keep in mind, the center console is pushed back still, so there is more room here. How much room do you have on your side? From here? Oh yeah, that's about right. There we go.
You see the H of the tray?
The H?
Yeah, the mark.
Yeah, I do. I see about...
I have like a quarter.
I have about that much. I have that much.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. And yeah, that's all the way back. So there we go. It covers the holes that are in the carpet, which is nice. These are designed to take a full-size driver. That's what these plates do. 100% rhino lined. Tremendous amount of air. This thing is gonna slam. We got plenty of room for these ports to breathe on either side. And it looks nice with the Titan logo on the front.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some woofers in this bad boy.
Let's get it.
There it is. And to unpack what we've done, the wires that we talked about, these go up and around and they're into the center console because we had to pull that out. But right now they're just chilling here waiting to go up into the dash. The power wire is located underneath this here and goes out to underneath the hood. And the sub wire is coming out and going along and comes through here and is plugged into the box back here. The box that we saw earlier has a new clip on it that we made instead of the standard push terminals, and that goes into place there. And there's enough wire if he needs to move it around or do whatever he can. And then this goes out to underneath the hood, where it comes through a hole that we made from a factory grommet that we made bigger. So there was a little grommet like this, in the wall all by itself. We modified this to fit our wire with our grommet in it. And then the wire comes along the top here. Fernando notched this area to fit the power wire in. It comes over here onto this bracket that we made that he asked me to make him a cool little panel for, so that anybody underneath the hood will know what this is. This, of course, is the Stinger fuse holder that we use, so this just unsnaps like this, and you can remove the bracket and then snap it back in place if you need to remove this to service the battery and whatnot. Power wire's not hooked up yet, but the amplifier is grounded. There is a factory ground point located right here. So there was one right here. This is a factory point here, but there was a second one right here. So I put mine there, and then we put a nutsert in and bolted this front piece down. The second one will be here underneath the seat bolt, and that is how the amplifier is going to chill out. Next thing I need to do is actually drop this seat down, get the radio and all of those pieces taken care of, so that we can get the center console put back in place, get the radio put up into place. And that's just gonna be a bunch of soldering and to the harness that we already created. This guy right here. Unlike the newer version of this plug, the older version came with all of these extra wires that just kind of really get in the way. So we want to remove all of that off of here and get us back to a much cleaner harness, and then separate out the front speakers and the rear speakers. Now when I was testing this, I cut the rear speakers just to make sure that they were in fact where they needed to be, and now I'm going to solder them back together again. And the reason for that is at some point he may want to add rear speakers, and I want to just make sure I have that connection point isolated out. He probably never will. I mean, that's the goal, is to never do that. This is also a really good place to screw up a wiring harness, meaning when you're dealing with rears, you got purple. Purple's a dark color, and purple with a black stripe is an easy color to mistake and get it wrong. I always triple check my purples. With those reattached, we use the JK Narrow exterior tape and cover my wires. When we get to the end, tape on tape wrap. I'm not going to cover up this solder point. Flip the harness around and come at this again from my plug. And get to the end, tape on tape. So that leaves this area right here exposed. Now I'm going to take a different type of tape and I'm going to tape over that. Now what I've done is I've started here and wrapped into the solder point, started here, wrapped into the solder point. That means if I need to, I can unwrap tape and go this way and cut. If I went the other way, I would be unwrapping from this end, so I'd have to strip all of the tape off. I don't want to do that. By changing the medium of tape, now I know exactly where my connection point is. So if I ever do need to come back into this to do anything for the rear, I know that I can just peel this off. I don't have to remove any of the other tape, so I'm not wasting any tape but this small piece here. Now I have the harness that I'm going to be using for this car. I have the output here that is going to go off to my load resistors, and then I have what's going to come from my amplifier to power up my mid bass in the door. And then once that's done, we can hook the power up and turn the system on so that we can then plug the DSP in, because one of the cool things about the ARC Audio is when you power it up for the first time, the software knows that you're powering it up for the first time, and it actually has it attenuated to -68 in the internal volume so that it can't turn on and blow the speakers, because it doesn't know what you want to do for your crossovers. So we can turn it on and we can go in and we can dial all that in. I'm going to jump over into the passenger seat and start getting these wires all soldered up. Join me over there and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all completed. Not much to see now that the wires are done. Here is our clip here. The rest of the wiring is done back there. The reason I went for back there is because this panel here pops up, and that allows me to get to everything if I need to without having to pull this whole dash apart, which is kind of nice. I found a really nice place over here to put the LGD to, so that mounted into place. Our other harness is plugged into there. This is that time I've been waiting for. I can snap all of this back together, hook the battery up, and we should be able to turn it on. Yay!